Good afternoon. A very, very warm welcome to all of our attendees on today's webinar. Thank you very, very much for attending. We're broadcasting live from Beaverswood HQ this afternoon. For those of you who don't know where Beaverswood HQ is, it is in Wokingham, Berkshire. So today we're going to be sharing with you 5 actions that you can implement in the workplace tomorrow, and they will really transform how productive your workplace can be. Now, if you bear with me, I'm going to share with you some slides. And whilst I'm doing that, I will take this time to introduce myself. I'm Stephanie Gentle, Marketing Director here at Beaverswood. And alongside me is my colleague, Jim Roberts. He is the product manager and expert here at Beaverswood. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you. Welcome everybody. Sorry, it's me, the Northerner. Anybody needs subtitles, we'll put them into the download copy, so don't worry.
Excellent. So I'm just sharing my screen with you, and I'm going to just switch to our slides for today. Just setting the scene. So the whole premise behind this webinar today is really to address the changing workplace. So this isn't just about the industrial workplace, although a lot of the solutions will really help the industrial workplace today. It's also about the office. It's also about the schools, universities, and really anywhere in the workplace where we've seen change. But let's just kind of bring us back to the industrial workplace at the moment. The pandemic has really created a difference to this area. You know, we're seeing more online retail, we're seeing more home deliveries, and that's put a big pressure in terms of workload on production facilities, on warehousing facilities, and transport hubs and logistic facilities right across the UK. But also, as Jim keeps pointing out to me, it's a very busy time of year approaching seasonally for this particular area. If we're talking about the office, then some offices have returned. Some will be planning to return in the new year. Whichever phase of return to work you are in when it comes to the office, you really will be looking at not only making a safe and secure workplace for your colleagues, but also about how to implement systems that are going to make sure that you work hard and productive as a workforce. So these today are our top 5 actions, and they really will make a difference to productivity and efficiency in your workplace. So I hope you've all got a cup of tea or coffee this afternoon. We'll take you through the next 20 minutes, 5 really simple actions. And I'll just remind everybody at this point, on your left-hand side on the panel, there is a Q&A section. Please use this, and at the end of the webinar, we will address it. Thank you very much. So action number 1 is all about refreshing your labelling and ID systems. Now, Jim, before I pass over to you, I'm just going to address our audience today, resellers. And if you have customers who are in, the workplace, then the question you should be asking them is, how long ago did you refresh your labelling and ID systems? Likewise, if you're managing a warehouse or you're an office manager, when did you last refresh your labelling and ID systems? Because it can really go a long way when it comes to productivity. So that takes us to our first product, Jim, and maybe you can give us more.
So the first one is ticket holders and label holders. We don't want to get too much into the product detail, but these are simple, quick, traditionally used on racking and shelving, shelf front edges. Rather than having a printed fixed label, easily, quickly change the data that's on the label, either by sliding the new label in or from the top on the ticket holders. These are supplied in cut pieces, thumb stock, or if we can supply longer lengths, whether it be ticket holders up to 3 meters, or the more flexible label holders, which we can go up to 50 meters. So very economical. And again, perfect for when locations need to be changed quite frequently, especially in these kind of COVID times when there's a lot of changes taking place.
And one of the great things about this is that they're literally just cut to size. So you literally can just cut these, either magnetic version, just cut them to size, and as Jim says, really easy to interchange with different messaging, whether it's archiving and using this for product storage or whatever it may be. Really, really simple, effective solution. You can implement this tomorrow. Thing that we do bespoke for lots of customers, and colour plays a big part in this.
Yeah, colour, and we're going to mention this several times, so apologies for that, but colour plays a vital role, particularly in code labels. It needs to match the upright markers on the beam labels. These are the next level up from the kind of ticket holders and label holders kind of identification. We do various sizes, various formats. Some people get very kind of concerned, confused about these. Don't be, we'll hold your hand all the way through the process. We need very little information from you to begin that process. We can make recommendations. Say the element of colour, it adds a great visual to not just the data that's in there, but from the colour elements as well.
And I think it's a really good point to mention here, Jim, about the INSTRUCT. You just talked about that consultancy that we offer.
Yeah.
We will help and guide through any big coding job that's necessary, and we also offer installation and support services. Yeah,
these can be several thousand, tens of thousands of labels. Obviously, your own staff doing that. So we have a dedicated install team. Again, we can work with you to fulfill your needs.
And whilst we're talking about action number 1, which is I'll remind you, refreshing, reviewing, auditing your labelling and ID system. This is a really great product. The simplicity of it always just strikes me. It's easy wipe, racking strip again. This can be cut to measure, but I just love the way that you can write on and wipe off exactly. But it can't just be simply rubbed off, can it, Jim? Which is a great thing and feature about this product.
That's the beauty of it. You need to use a wet wipe pen. That's an important element of it. But off, you need a damp cloth. Other products which you can write on, you can accidentally walk past it, brush against it, and it wipes that data, which obviously isn't great. So you physically need a damp cloth to be able to remove it.
And we'll just talk very quickly about scenarios where these are used. Obviously, they can be used in places like the warehouse, but because the messaging can be replaced so much, we've had a lot of demand, and we've got customers using it for a range of reasons, including where they're having to, some schools and libraries are having to quarantine books that come back in. So they'll put on there the date that those particular books came in. And of course, that can be refreshed if that system is moved through. So that's just an example of how these could be used in the workplace.
Yeah, and you don't actually need to write on there. You can just use it as a colour-coded system, as Steph said. Red and green, good and stop. It could be anything as simplistic as that.
And a label and ID system wouldn't be complete without your aisle and bay markers, right, Jim?
Yeah, these really should be the first items that, when you're looking at labelling and ID, these are the first items you should be thinking about putting in there. It gives an instant, very visual way of communicating and creating the quickest route for your staff. Obviously, not only that, but it creates a safe pedestrian traffic route, especially again in these COVID times. Those can be produced in various sizes to suit shelving and racking, with any kind of text, with company names, logos, colours, you name it. It's quite adaptable. The bay marker is a little bit more simplistic in its terms. That it's magnetic, self-adhesive, a letter or a number to go on.
And what's really cool is something you just talked about, magnetic, self-adhesive. These can also be drilled and fixed into position. So we've kind of got it covered, whether it's permanent solution, semi-permanent or temporary. You can use aisle and bay markers really, really effectively with these Beaverswood products.
Yeah, so we've gone through the shelving, front edge to the end of rack. So it's all about creating that effective labelling and identification solution.
Section 1, which is all about reviewing and revising the labelling and ID system in your workplace. Just ask the question, when was this last done? A very quick and simple audit can very easily identify opportunities to improve this, which of course is going to help with how everybody works in the work. Products that can make a huge difference to the way that you are organised, the way that you communicate, and the way that you use colour to communicate within the workplace. Here we go. Number 1 is the floor signals. So this is a long-standing product with Beaverswood that we do in a number of different shapes, ranging from, for example, the very popular in 2020 footprints that you can see, to shapes that can mark out designated areas.
Yeah, and we've gone from the racking and shelving systems, but most people forget about the flooring. It's a very prominent position. And painting the floor can be very expensive, time consuming, and may even stop production in certain areas as it takes that much time. These are very versatile. Or whether it's just a block stacking area as the image on the bottom. It's a very thin membrane. It's about 200 micron, but it's got a very high pressure industrial adhesive, which makes it great in areas where you've got forklifts, pallet trucks, personnel. It's built to last.
And the colour coding here, again, just really simple, really smart, because you've got, you know, everything, all of these shapes are available in the different colour systems. So that enables you to implement an effective colour coding system. Nice.
As we said, colour is going to be repeated several times.
It would be remiss of us not to mention floor tapes today, Jim, because, again, these are increasingly popular in 2020. What do Beaverswood offer as a solution here?
Well, we look at it as floor tapes. There's a lot of floor tapes out in the market, and Steph, you're right. The demand outstrips supply. There are some low quality tapes out in the marketplace. We don't want to be involved in that market. We're working in areas which feature forklifts, pedestrian trucks. They're very demanding environments, so the tape has to be tough. The adhesive has to be good. Again, it be red, yellow, and black. It all helps. And
we also have this year, new to our. We have an outdoor version.
Yeah, we've been asked for outdoor markings, so a simple one. We've added a kind of a gaffer tape way of naming that one.
To communicate effective messaging, and we've seen a huge increase of demand this year for this product, where consumers are using it in the workplace to mark out important areas, as well as to signal where there are important safety features, such as this fire safety implement here. So, Jim, what else do we have?
Well, these products great. They can work on their own, or they can work together with the other products like the floor signals, the tapes. It helps you show a message in a very kind of prominent and protected way. The label is underneath the protective film, and again, it's about communicating in every aspect that you're doing. It's great in kind of 5S lean environments. We have DL and A4 sizes, 6 colours. Again, it's a thin membrane, so when you're dragging pallets or forklifts over the top of it, 200 micron, but a good quality adhesive. They're built to last.
Built to last. So Jim's mentioned this a number of times, and I think it's really important to say you buy from Beaverswood, you buy once. With all of these floor graphic products, floor marker products, they are extremely high quality. I'm sure many of us have been in public establishments, whether it be a high street shop, a supermarket or a bank in recent months, and we will have come across peeling floor markers. Not only do they present a trip hazard, but of course they don't look especially great either for the brand if they're peeling. And not to mention the costs that comes with, because if you're buying it and having to replace it, then that can become costly and timely. The whole range of floor products from Beaverswood will really save money, time and effort in the long run. And I think that's a really important point to mention.
Yeah, definitely. The
floor graphic markers that you can see here continue to be popular. We have them in 38 standard designs, and this is growing, but we also do bespoke options which are available. And some companies do choose to have them branded in terms of the colour branding and also the messaging to suit their company. I think that's a really important point, because you know, when it comes to colleagues actually practicing values, your company values, that brand culture starts from within. It starts from within the company. And so for many, it's really important that, you know, they're using their branding to communicate internally to their colleagues. And this can be done very, very effectively through floor markings as well.
Yeah, and that's what this range is about. It's about communicating the message, especially in these pertinent kind of COVID times. But again, coming back to the quality, these are the messaging is printed to the underside of a PVC film, and then an aggressive adhesive is laminated onto the back. It's got a high slip rating. It's slightly thicker. These products, they're 300 micron. As Steph said, we do a lot of specials, company names, over text, logos. Because we produce them here, we can do them to fulfill your needs. So
a really quick question is just asking, you know, how are you using your floor space to communicate with your colleagues in the workplace? Brings us on to the very last part in Action 2, which is the half circle floor graphic markers, which were launched earlier this year.
Yeah, these half floor markers fit neatly along flat edges, as you can see from the images there, such as walls, end of racks, doorways, pedestrian doorways. Normally they're 700, 750 mil wide, so hence why these are that particular size. Not only do they act in a similar way to the full circle floor markers in portraying that message, but in doorways they also act to show the door swing just so it's backed up to your staff to keep that area clear if it's something like that. Again, a high slip rating and an aggressive adhesive. And
I said the last thing, but I actually forgot, of course, social distance floor markers, yes. Which have obviously been, you know, hugely popular and will continue to be for some time to come. And I think there's probably just one point we want to make here, which is that these are available in both the extremely industrial strength adhesive that we normally have, but we've also got these as a semi-permanent, so that if you do have, I don't know, polished wooden floorings and the different kind of floorings that you may want to protect and not have a sticky residue remaining, or you want to be able to remove these stickers eventually, we do these in a semi-permanent version. Is there anything else to add to that part?
No, that's it. The adhesive is, as you said, it's a honeycomb design, so it doesn't let the adhesive cure all the way across. So for these polished wooden floors or any tiled surfaces or things like that, the semi-permanent ones are ideal.
So we're going to pick up the pace now. Thank you very much for keeping with us, folks. So action 3 is all about keeping it really clean, really tidy, with a really simple recycling system, manufactured by Beaverswood. This is the rucksack. And what I love about the rucksack, I have to say, is the fact that it wastes no floor space. It is absolutely space saving. It hangs on the end of the racking, as the name suggests. I think it's genius. I absolutely love this product, Jim.
Yeah, the rucksack, as Steph said, it does, as the name suggests, hangs on the racking. It doesn't necessarily have to be racking mounted. The hooks can fix onto other locations. But if we go back to kind of 2015, when these new waste regulations came in, they tried to make the waste producers segregate waste before it was collected on site. So these family of products, which is rucksack, trolley sack and cage sack, all help to do that. Not just segregate the waste, but to recycle the waste, maybe internally or externally, before the waste goes to landfill. Company branding, again, we can do other designs, and there you can see various colours. We've got a blue and a green in the standard, and the clear one. Clear one is a fairly new product to the family, and it's growing very popular. As you can see, the instant thing that what works with that sack is that you can see the material stored in it, not just to make sure that the right recycling materials are stored, but to make sure there's no high valuable items being stored in there by staff or people.
And of course, there are companies that do, of course, have high ticket items that they're processing, and this is a really good security benefit that the rucksack adds.
Yeah.
And as Jim mentioned, we do these in a variety of designs. So not only can you have them with wording or symbol only, which makes them, great for global use or pan-European use. You can also have them for the rucksack, for the roll cage. So you'll see in supermarkets and other kind of warehousing where this is popular. Second of all, the trolley, so great for mail rooms, post rooms, larger offices where the trolley's used too. So those are just a few versions of the rucksack, but this just concludes action number 3, which is all about keeping everything safe and tidy, preventing trip hazards, creating a cleaner workplace, a nicer environment for your colleagues, and ensuring that everybody's doing their part to contribute towards that. It brings us very nicely onto action 4, which is all about visual communication, using visual boards to create safer stations. Jim mentioned earlier that we will keep reiterating the importance of colour, and it very much plays a key role in this section. This is Moduline. Moduline is designed and brought to you by Beaverswood. We brought it out last year, and it's already become a very popular product. We have a range of shadow boards, not only shadow boards, but actually communication boards as well. So these are, like I mentioned, sort of safety stations, really, whether that station be an area for communication or whether that be an area for, these examples here show where you can hang tools and cleaning products, a first aid station. And also we've created some more that are relevant in these times, such as hand wash, hand sanitization, face mask dispensers, that kind of thing as well. So really, really, really smart, but they all can be bought individually or fitted together in a modular type system. And the colour plays a key role here as well.
Yeah, these are a large 750mm square boards. made from Foamex. You may not necessarily know that what the material is, but it's a lighter, more manageable material than the traditional shadowboard material, which is the dye bond aluminium material. So, as I said, much lighter, easier to work with, easy to fix. And the colour, again, coming back to that, if you think about the how they use colour in kitchens, you not only allocate a colour to a certain task or area, it also helps stop cross-contamination. So like all the products that are on the boards, the brooms, the mops, they all feature a little colour band to make sure you know that item goes back on the correct board.
So again, you know, when we're talking about reorganising the workplace to make it more efficient, to make it more productive, then, you know, simple colour-coded systems that help to enforce safety and hygiene in the workplace and to communicate very clear messaging is so important, so effective. Difference.
A mobile framework to go with it. You buy the framework and the individual boards separately. So the framework can allow you to have 4 boards, so obviously 2 at the front, 2 at the back. But the other beauty is that you can actually fit 2 trolley sacks. So again, it's about as you move around the workplace, being safe, being tidy, and getting that message across.
And this example right here, Jim, is proving ever popular. So it's an example of a face mask dispenser. And you've got the rucksack the rucksack underneath that fits really nicely on here. Yeah. So you can, of course, dispose of your face mask or any other disposables as you're exiting. So a really nice idea that's proven very popular as well.
And again, the thing to come across there is we do the standards, but we also do a lot of specials. So if you want branding, if you want different items on there, we can very quickly and easily do that for you.
So we're going to talk about the very last action that you can implement in your workplace to really make a difference to workplace productivity. And this is about framing important messaging, making it stand out. And this is so effective, actually. We've got Frames for Docs, which is one of our very best sellers at Beaverswood, and they are for a reason. It's a great way to frame really important communication, and you can think about this in many, many different scenarios. I'll give you a few examples. So not just in the office place where you want to put up, you know, kind of communication area that you can change very fluidly, but also in the warehouse environment where not everybody has access to emails, then these can serve very well to build up notice board areas, especially at the moment if you're having to do, you know, new risk assessments, if you're having to update with new safety information, then this is a great way of being able to do that. Then think about how they can be used in other areas like the toilets, the kitchens, where you can put the rotors and, you know, just kind of sign on there every time that that toilet or that kitchen has been cleaned and disinfected, for example, on the back of toilet doors, whatever it may be. You know, there's so many ways in which companies are using Frames for Docs right now to communicate their important information.
Yeah, the good thing with those is that you can use them in a horizontal or vertical format. You don't need 2 different products. It does both. They're A2 down to A5. You've got the various colour options, and again, it's the colour border element of it, framing that important message. So yeah, it's a very, very important product.
And this is just the window version, which we're seeing shops using, of course, to communicate messages. They're great for glass doors where you can maybe put on a meeting room schedule. And of course, in your visitors entrance to update visitors on your new practices at the moment, perhaps to notify delivery drivers of information. So many ways in which frames for windows are also used.
Yeah, it's a removable, reusable, and that's the point to get across, is that they can be removed, reused hundreds of times, which makes them perfect for, as Steph said, fixing on glass or glass partitioning, that kind of thing.
And again, available in the different colours.
Yeah.
So we're just coming to the very end, but we've just got to show you a couple of other framed ways in which you can present your documents. So this is the document pockets, which can be tied onto like cages and used in kind of many different applications.
So standard product range within the document range that we've sold for 30 odd years now. They're PVC high strength document pockets. As you can see, available in the different fixing methods, so that it's a very versatile product.
And we do those in the rainbow version as well, so that again we've got a colourful way in which you can display that messaging.
Yeah, these are kind of the next level up from the clear standard pockets. The coloured back and pockets allow you to not just protect your info, but also to offer the colour-coded aspect to it. And again, it's about that effective communication, either used individually or as a mixture with other products to get the best solution.
Jim, thank you very, very, very much for that insight today. I hope that you found today's webinar very useful. It's all about 5 simple actions and effective actions that you can implement in your workplace tomorrow. These kind of things don't have to be expensive. You don't have to reinvent the way in which you organise your workplace. It doesn't have to come at a great cost. These are simple, effective, cost-effective solutions that you can take away and put into place very, very quickly. As always, Beaverswood is on hand. We're experts and we can help you with your solutions or any questions that you may have around visual communication in the workplace. And again, as always, we like to help you with any bespoke requirements. Just get in touch. As a reseller, if you need help with implementing these solutions into your customer base, you'll find, as usual, a great array of reseller information with the reseller packs that will come as part of this. So we are now going to open the floor to questions. Thank you very, very much for your time. We're just coming to the end of the webinar. And I'm just going to go back into the webinar and look at questions, and we do have some here, Jim, so bear with me because this screen is very far away.
Yeah, well, social distancing, by the way, I'm not sure if we said. Not that Steph smells or anything, it's just we need to be distance away, so the text is hard to read. Right,
so here we go. Question 1, Jim. I'm going to ask the questions, okay, and you can answer them. Right, good. Number 1, do your magnetic products work on stainless steel?
That's a good technical question. It's not an easy answer, straightforward answer, but basically you need to look at what your stainless steel product is made from, what grade. Generally, most magnetic products won't work on grades starting with a 3, so 316, 310. They don't work because it's almost a pure stainless steel. If you've got grades starting with a 4 or something like that, then yes, they should do, because they've got more nickel, more iron kind of content. Probably the easiest thing for us to do is for you to contact us, and we'll gladly send you some sample magnetic products for you to try.
Are you able to source special products for the shadow boards? I have an inquiry for something that isn't in your standard range.
Yeah, again, we're more than capable of doing standards, specials. So you tell us what products you want on there. Do you want us to supply the products? Have you got the product? So we need a little bit of information, but in general, yes, we can do that.
Excellent. And hi, how difficult is it to get the floor products up once they've been used?
Well, we go back to some of the floor markers where we said some of them are semi-permanent, some of them are permanent. They're designed to stay down. Doesn't necessarily mean you can't remove them. It just takes a little bit of effort.
And another question about floor markers. Can the footprints for the floor be used outdoors?
They can be. We don't recommend it. That these are internal products. We do have other products such as stencils, the gaffer tapes. You can use the floor signals outdoors, but again, it's not our recommendation.
Last question for you, Jim. Could we print any design and logo on the rucksack?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. We have blank rucksacks here in stock, so we can very quickly do a design for you. We can send you a PDF of that design for you to approve before we actually print it on the sack. So that includes your company name. If you think of the rucksacks featuring on a long row of racking, your branding along there would look good. So company names, company logos, other recycling text and logos, you name it. Any print options, basically, we can do.
Jim, thank you very, very much. We have answered all the questions. Yeah, some really good questions. Thank you for your participation to the audience. I appreciate you tuning in today. We hope you found that insight invaluable. It's all about reorganising the workplace, making the workspace that you've got work harder, and implementing really simple things for our colleagues that can be done today and tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you all again soon.